big annual changing of the guard is taking place in the skies at the moment. The major airlines end their winter routes and are moving their planes to their new summer schedules. And more of them are continuing to move their planes to Ireland from less profitable routes elsewhere. It means a lot of new choices for consumers, including this weekend, Dublin's first direct route to Moscow for many years. With me to discuss this and other travel matters, Eoghan Corry, editor of Travel Extra. Eoghan, good morning.
Morning, Pat.
So, who's flying us to Moscow?
It used to be called Air Siberia. It's now S7. They've trendified www.s7.ru. They're doing promotional fares of €99 and they're coming in 3 times a week starting Sunday. And it's very, very good news. Because
€99 to Moscow?
Yeah, one way. There are all sorts of problems going for your weekend with the lads or with the girls to Moscow, in that you all require visas, and that will remain that will exclude it from the weekend circuit that places like Prague and Budapest and Tallinn.
I mean, it's a great city to visit, loads to see, loads to
Terrific city. It's one of the great cities. People sort of still have Cold War images stuck in their head, but it is as vibrant as Paris or London or any of those great cities. And obviously there's a Champions League final coming up there in a few weeks' time. But it's a great service. It also offers great connectivity. There are about 100 routes on from Domodedovo Airport, which is very fast. It's the fastest growing of the 3 Moscow airports. Lufthansa will be transferring there this summer, which is an indication of how strong it is. And it opens up the former Soviet Union. It opens up places like Beijing. It's one of the easiest ways into Beijing.
And what aircraft are they flying?
They're flying A320s, and that's what they're talking about is building up from the 3 to 7. They're very, very happy with the reaction so far. And there's a big. One of their components is the biggest outgoing tour operator out of Russia. Fallujah, Ireland, and Tourism Ireland are really, really interested in that Russian tourism market. It's a huge driver of growth through the whole of Europe. Now,
Lufthansa start Berlin-Tegel and Stuttgart this weekend.
Yeah, that's their 2 more routes this weekend. Stuttgart we've had before, Berlin-Tegel, and they're looking at the summer traffic out of Ireland, despite all the talk about recession, that sort of thing. Airport numbers growing by 7%.
Another brilliant city to visit.
Oh, Berlin. Absolutely. Berlin has more hotels than Manhattan has, and than New York has. It's one of the great. It is a great party city, and culturally, an astonishing city with loads and loads and loads to do.
We'll fly through the rest of them then. Flybe are starting Dublin, Guernsey, Air Transat, Montreal.
They're coming in May. Montreal coming in May. That's direct. Aer Lingus ran it direct a few years ago. They pulled out of it, but it's now back and it's once a week. Vancouver, a very interesting one. Flight Globesman delayed that by a couple of weeks, but that's our first direct service to Vancouver, and that's once a week as well. Ryanair have thrown in 4 new ones, which are very, very interesting. They're doing Zadar in southern Croatia. That's already started. They're doing Santander, which is a terrific weekend city in Spain as well, and Rodez, which is opening up that Midi-Pyrenees, all that region. It's not far from Toulouse, and it seems to be very, very successful. Loads and loads of interest in that as well. What will affect prices, some prices out of Ireland. Oh, by the way, Air Ireland we should mention here as well.
Galway to Amsterdam.
Galway to Amsterdam. Huge interest in that Galway Amsterdam. They're doing Faro and Malaga as well. They couldn't get down that far until they got access to jet aircraft. They have that this year. They're also running routes from Waterford. Palma, Ryanair started it, and that's it's already having a little bit of an effect. You can see sale prices for May breaks have come down from the charter operators because they now have competition on that. And they already have Aer Lingus on the Palma route. They now have Ryanair as well.
Or Air Southwest Cork to Plymouth as well. Now, you're just back from Egypt and Ethiopia.
2 successive weeks. Amazing, yeah.
Egypt, we know already, and Sharm el-Sheikh and all of that. It's a growing and increasingly popular destination for tourists. It could be, you say, the Turkey of
It could
tomorrow.
be the new Turkey. When you see the numbers going into Turkey, it's about 90,000, Cyprus 70,000. It's only 45,000 into Egypt. I concentrated on Cairo this time to get a handle on it. The big thing I learned is that all the Aswan and Luxor tour groups come into the pyramids on Tuesdays. Get there Monday morning, you're going to have a free run by yourself. It's a really, really great time to visit, and do it through Cairo. And doing it on the day trip, if you're really interested in Egyptology, is not going to do it for you.
I mean, the pyramids are only up the road in Cairo. I mean, it's unbelievable how close they are to the centre.
It's like somebody King Leary decided to build the pyramids in Sandymount. You're driving out of the city and you hit this on the edge of the desert. It's amazing.
Now, Ethiopia, we think of famine, we think of war, and you're saying think again.
Think again. This is a terrific tourism destination. It's one of the really ancient Christian cultures. Now, they are saddled with those Bob Geldof, Michael Burke images. The anniversaries come around, they're re-shown the whole time. It is a huge country. It's the second biggest population after Nigeria. There's 77 million people. Poverty is immense. There are 7 million of those on the safety net, as they call it, the food aid programme. Ireland is a major player. We heard Dermot Hearn talking about their donations to Kenya, our input into Kenya. Ethiopia is our biggest recipient with 38 million.
But one of the things you can do by going there and spending your tourist euro, you're helping out.
Absolutely, and the tourism euro is going to go much, much further in Africa. Only 1% of world tourism goes into Africa. That tourism euro is going to go much further in Africa than it will in our traditional destinations. What Ethiopia has in the south of the country, which is largely inaccessible, it's next door to Kenya's good safari product. But what we went to have a look at was the ancient Christian culture, stuff that is really, really wonderful.
And Indiana Jones, eat your heart out. You actually found the lost Ark of the Covenant.
Indiana got it wrong. He was prancing around in Petra, which is also a terrific destination in Jordan. It's a little church in Axum, Pat. It's small. It looks like something from the ruined churches you'd see in Glendalough or Clonmacnoise. And a lot of what I came across reminded me of that very ancient monastic Irish 6th century culture. What we have in Axum is a little church where the 2 tablets that Moses was given the 10 Commandments on are tended in a little box, and one monk gets a chance to see it, because part of the Coptic Christian tradition is this is pretty powerful. It can fly, it can burn you. It burned Moses' face. You've got to treat it with care. It's tended in silk. It is very close to what Indiana Jones' movie tried to convey, but it's right there in the heart of the action, and they hold church processions around it. I was there just in the lead into Easter, which were really inspirational. It's a very spiritual place, a very spiritual people. Whether the Ark of the Covenant it has that Hollywood burning capability or not, it's really central to Ethiopian religion, and there's a copy of it in every church in case raiders might actually come along and they'd be fooled to finding the real.
Lots to see in Ethiopia and lots more to talk about, including fuel and all that. We'll do that next time. Eoghan Corry, editor of Travel Extra.
Thank you very much, Pat.